Donald Trump prepares to outline his immigration plan tonight. His policy on work-related visas. It's coming under intense scrutiny. A March statement from the campaign on H-1B visas program reads, in part, it says, "I will end forever the use of the H-1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers first for every visa and immigration program. No exceptions." Well, that policy stands in stark contrast today with a new report from Mother Jones in which 3 former models claim they worked illegally on tourist visas for Trump Model Management, an agency that is still up and running. Industry experts tell Mother Jones that this kind of violation was once common in the fashion industry, but model Rachel Blay tells Mother Jones, quote, "Honestly, they are the most crooked agency I've ever worked for, and I've worked for quite a few." Mother Jones reports that according to a financial disclosure filed by the campaign, Donald Trump earned nearly $2 million from Trump Model Management and still holds an 85% stake in the company. Trump's campaign spokesperson, Hope Hicks, declined to answer questions from Mother Jones, saying, quote, "That has nothing to do with me or the campaign." But this morning, vice presidential candidate Mike Pence did respond.
I think the Trump organization can speak for itself on those issues. I'm very confident that they complied and conformed to the laws of the country. That, you know, as I said, these sidebar issues that come up, his business enterprise can address those, and I'm confident they'll address them forthrightly.
Joining me now, James West, senior digital editor for Mother Jones and the author of this investigative report. James, thanks for your time. It's interesting that Hope Hicks as well as Governor Pence both see this as some type of sidebar, that it has nothing to do with the campaign, and yet the candidate has a very strong statement about H-1B visas and bringing in workers over picking Americans who work here.
Look, what we know about this company is that this is anything but a sidebar issue for Donald Trump. Since he launched this company in 1999, he surrounded himself constantly with Trump models. Rachel Blay, who was in my piece, even appeared on a 2004 episode of The Apprentice, she says, without proper work authorization. So in the piece, we have 4 Trump models. Their cases are quite clear. They were here without work authorization for his company. His company is like the jewel in his crown of his kind of business empire. There's no doubt that this is far from a sidebar issue for Trump himself.
Now, according to the models, the agency instructed them or encouraged them to deceive customs officials about why they were visiting the United States, and even told them to lie on customs forms about where they intended to live. And there are also these lingering questions yet to be answered regarding Melania Trump and her life as a model and her first entry into the United States. So again, these are campaign issues.
Yeah, this is a business candidate that runs on his business record. We need to compare what his campaign says about hardline immigration reform, as he calls it. He says immigrants are taking our money, taking our jobs. He wants to build a wall. We're going to see him with the Mexican president soon enough today. So these are real life issues in the campaign for the presidential nominee for the GOP. Let's compare it to his record. At Trump Model Management, they say, and industry experts say, this is commonplace, that young, sometimes teenage women came to this country to work without proper work authorization on tourist visas for this company. Why did it happen? How did it happen? Let's get to the bottom of it.
And you make the point that employers caught hiring non-citizens without proper visas can be fined $16,000 per employee. In some cases, face up to 6 months behind bars. Rachel Blay, in your piece, called what she experienced, and this is very hard to read, modern-day slavery. She compared it also to being in like a sweatshop.
Yes, so these young women, they come to New York sometimes for the first time. They're put through obviously a rigorous customs immigration interview like anyone. I'm a foreigner myself. I've done it many times. You come through, they were told to ship their modeling portfolios, for example, ahead of time so customs officials wouldn't find them, to dress down, to write different addresses on their forms. Once they got here, they were put in models apartments, they're known in the business, these cramped living quarters. Rachel herself was paying up to $1,600 a month for a bunk, sharing in a room with 5 other people in a basement apartment in New York's East Village. So She's required, after doing some modeling gigs, to pay that money back to the agency at the end of it. Some models simply don't make that money back. Sky-high rent, cramped living conditions, and one described to me like a sitting duck. They're here working without the proper authorization. Who knows when they're going to get found out?
Well, it's a fascinating investigative report. James, thank you so much for your time. You can go on to Mother Jones to read more. Thank you.